Welcome back to another video on another beautiful day with the 1993 Volvo 240. I bought many dream vehicles that I had on my bucket list, partially possible because they were more attainable than a supercar or brand new truck. But regardless, they were vehicles that if I was still in my teens, I would look at them and picture myself content if I owned them. However, one by one, as I grew older, I learned for myself that it was not that easy. And most importantly, that the problem was not that the vehicle didn't meet my expectations, but that ultimately my mindset wasn't entirely where it needed to be to fully enjoy them once I had them. We often look outside ourselves for satisfaction, but we rarely realize that we've been looking for something outside ourselves to fix how we feel inside. When I had a nice car, I missed cruising gravel roads, and when I had an SUV or truck, I missed the speed and appeal of a fun car. I went back and forth because obviously I could not afford to drive and insure many vehicles at once. And ultimately, the issue was not in these vehicle differences, but in the mindset I had in wanting more satisfaction looking outward rather than within. When I got a vehicle I'd always wanted, it was sometimes easier to focus on the next one that I didn't have than fully utilize the one that I had for long term. I genuinely enjoy vehicles of all times as a car enthusiast, so I don't plan to settle down necessarily with one simple vehicle for good, at least not completely. As I've slowly but surely progressed in the process of maturing, it's become easier to enjoy the automotive passion without jumping from one thing to the next in the same kind of way as I did before. I think about a vehicle longer or more seriously before I buy it, and before I sell one as well. I found that if I acted on an impulse, it usually wasn't as genuine, which ultimately led to me selling a vehicle down the road when the initial excitement eventually wore off. Hedonic adaptation is one of the most important things to understand when buying new things, especially purchases like vehicles. It is the psychological tendency for us humans to return to a relatively stable baseline level of happiness after major positive changes in our lives in this case. For example, winning a prize, buying a new thing, no matter what it is, the huge good things will make you happier for a while, but no matter what, you eventually get used to them and go back to feeling about the same as before. I think this is part of the reason why people say winning the lottery or suddenly getting rich doesn't change you. It just shows or reveals who you are. As much as we sometimes imagine for ourselves differently, this concept of hedonic adaptation is a psychological fact, and I find it best explained by these 3 points of experience. One is habituation, where your brain stops reacting as strongly to things that it experiences repeatedly. So what feels exciting at first feels regular or normal feeling. This exposes a weakness if you bought something off impulse or reasons that weren't genuine. 2 are reference points shifting. Once you own the new car, house, or phone, that new level of comfort or status becomes our new normal. So we no longer are comparing it to our old car, like when the old car was all you had. Now you compare it to other new cars. 3rd is your expectations rising and social comparisons after the initial excitement. You start noticing what other people have compared to yourself and may begin wanting the next upgrade as a result. Some research has shown that while we do adapt to many of these things as our new normal, the speed and completeness of the adaptation does vary. So some experiences can be more resistant to adaptation than material purchases like strong relationships or meaningful projects and work. Our brains are wired in a way that makes us adapt to almost anything over time. Whether someone's big dream is finding enough food on an island or buying their dream car, the initial excitement eventually fades and things start to feel normal again in the same way. The difference is that with big material purchases like cars, the adaptation often happens while we're still dealing with the costs and complications that come with it, which also makes it important that those decisions were thought out and calculated and not impulsive. As I cover this, I wonder if maybe it's because those things can't last forever, or how we often see our lack of achieving some type of literal happiness as a flaw rather than an instinct that keeps us alive. or focusing on what matters. While hedonic adaptation is not something we can completely eliminate because it's part of being human, we can work with it by focusing more on experiences and relationships than material upgrades in themselves. For example, focusing on appreciating material things in a healthy way for the experiences they bring and assist us with having, while acknowledging what they cannot solve for you completely. This is a perfect middle ground for many, having our passions, our hobbies, and our favorite things, but having the discipline and mindset to understand what they can help us experience and feel without seeing them as the sole source of joy or reason that we're happy. Other reasons a car, or really any possession that we have, starts to feel old to us is that we get busy, or we stop using it intentionally, and we slowly stop caring for it. And we forget the reasons that we enjoyed it in the first place. We forget the work we put in to acquire it, or if it's a project, the blood, sweat, and time to put it together to enjoy. These things are often working with everything else we just talked about. Just our car building up dirt and dust or issues through neglect can make us feel like it's time for the next one, when really we just need to care for the first thing to get the most out of it. So what can we actually do about this? We can learn to enjoy the car that we have and foster it by washing it by hand on a nice day, vacuuming out the interior and making it smell fresh, going for an early morning or evening cruise when the air is cool and fresh, organizing the glove box, or fixing a small rattle you've been ignoring. These are all things I try and do personally. And when I recently fixed a rattle in the exhaust of my Volvo 240, it felt like a whole new car, and I wanted to drive it even more and just more enjoyably. Something we often overlook in our vehicles is cleaning the windows properly so that the view out actually feels clear. And sometimes our windows are dirty and we don't notice, so it gives the feeling of an old car or a less enjoyable driving experience, but we don't really realize we're looking through dirty glass. When I do those kind of things, I start appreciating the details again. It pulls me out of autopilot and back into actually appreciating what I have, instead of growing numb to what I once wished for and have now. This philosophy can be applied to so many things in life, not just cars. Also, the speed of adaptation can get faster the more it's fed with ads and social media. If I'm constantly watching car videos or scrolling through listings, my brain starts making comparisons or imagining possibilities of or experiences with what I don't have instead of what I do have, and what I could do with what already belongs to me. With that thinking, we can miss out on opportunities to make memories and experiences on trips, adventures, and experiences with the vehicles or things that we own because we're stuck thinking about what we could do with a different vehicle or thing. Instagram makes me the culprit of this sometimes, with many aesthetic adventure videos with old 4x4s, and then on the other hand, smooth, beautiful coastal drives and stylish cars. If we aren't careful, they can serve as a roadblock rather than inspiration and motivation. So one thing I've been more intentional about is controlling my input, or at least my mindset, when approaching social media and content that I consume. I still enjoy car content, amazing pictures, and those entertaining videos, but I'm more mindful now instead of unconsciously shopping for the next thing without even knowing it. Because sometimes when we're browsing social media and other sources, we're really mentally shopping for our next want without actually realizing it. It's not necessarily as simple as just cleaning our cars and maintaining our stuff, but overall, it's part of learning to stay connected with the things that we already have instead of constantly chasing new ones. It isn't just about settling, downgrading, or lowering our standards. It's about changing the relationship we have with our stuff. The same cycle happens with phones, houses, clothes, jobs, our hobbies, and even our relationships. So many things in life. We get excited about something new, we buy it, we adapt, we might start neglecting it and it loses its meaning, and then we're looking for the next thing all over again. I don't think the answer is to stop enjoying nice things or having goals, admiring things even when we don't own them. I think the answer is more found in what we've discussed today, learning how to actually enjoy the things we already have a little longer and healthily approaching our wants and desires. Hedonic by definition means pleasure or enjoyment and the seeking of it in relation. It's the feeling of chasing gratification and avoiding discomfort. And that's what happens with a new car, watch, everything else. You get the rush, the excitement, and the sense that this thing is going to make life better, but because it's mostly hedonic, it fades. Your brain gets used to it, and this isn't a weakness or flaw. What I've slowly been learning is that the real goal isn't chasing more of those hedonic highs. Happiness comes from living well, from meaning, from actually taking care of the things in your life, rather than acquiring things that you don't have. Instead of a car being something that gives you a fleeting feeling of satisfaction, it can be something that you have a healthier relationship if approached the right way. Something you maintain, use intentionally, and appreciate over time. Especially sharing these enjoyments with others and enabling experiences through utilizing them. Well, on that note, I really enjoyed planning and creating this video. And if any of this resonated with you and you have any thoughts or experiences, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, safe driving, everybody. I'll see you on the next video.